Hello and welcome to another edition of Son of Kaiju Review. I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
And today we will be talking about SeaWorld. But only because it relates to the movie that we're talking about, which is...
Gamera versus... Zigra.
Yes. Which is the last of the original line of Gamera movies. And would be followed up by an attempt to reboot the series, but we'll get to that when we get to that. This is certainly a film that you can watch if you want to go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Like, we got tired of watching this movie yesterday.
I occasionally watch this movie to put myself to sleep. Because this film is kind of boring.
Yes.
So first off, we get basically an ad for SeaWorld.
Yep.
Kind of interposed with a kid brushing his teeth.
And his mother
comparing him to the dolphins and the killer whales at SeaWorld.
That are also brushing their teeth. Well, the SeaWorld person is brushing their teeth.
Now bear in mind that this was before everybody knew how horrible SeaWorld was as a place for sea animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that certainly doesn't help this movie to age very well.
No.
But that's a minor plot detail, because as it turns out, aliens...
Well, it's technically an alien.
Space shark called Zigra tells its humanoid subordinate to go kidnap a scientist.
He kidnaps... Well, two people are fishing or I think they're attempting to fish or just checking the water. I'm not 100% sure what they're about. And two kids are hiding in the boat because they ate sandwiches.
It's a pair of scientists, Doctors Henry and Wallace, who are looking into the sea life because a dolphin recently died.
Yep.
As evidenced by the dead dolphin in one scene, which may have been a prop. I hope it was a prop.
Mm-hmm. It looked like it was in a gimp outfit.
It did, but that may have just been because it was black in color. Oil? I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
Pollution is the answer, I guess.
I guess so.
But anyway, they're there. Their kids, Kenny and Helen, have snuck aboard, much to their mother's surprise.
Due to their mother's surprise, and their father's stomachs, because they were about to eat.
They were going to have the snacks that they brought along, but the kids ate them all.
Like, the thermos is empty. The sandwiches are gone. I saw my wife pack the sandwiches. I saw my wife fill the thermos.
And then they get abducted by the Zigran woman.
Yep.
Who then proceeds to tell them that Zigra plans on taking over the Earth. And then to prove it, she transmits a message to, like, the whole world or something.
Via radio, I believe.
To tell them that the Zigrans are going to take over the world, and then proceeds to, I guess, destroy Tokyo, because then she just shows shots of Tokyo in a destroyed mode, and we never actually see what happens other than it got destroyed.
Yep.
Somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, what?
I don't know. I just don't know.
I think it was an earthquake, but it certainly kind of just happens.
Mm-hmm. The Zigra woman ends up pretty much knocking out or slightly making the father sleepwalk
for some reason, and then the kids, realizing how she manages to use her powers, avoids eye contact with her, runs around the place, freezes her somehow
by touching some random balls,
some helix thing.
Yeah, he's a helix.
And then somehow figuring out how to
teleport them back to the lake or something.
To where they had left off. And it's... What?
Zigra unparalyzes the woman.
These kids are basically Deus Ex Machinas at this point in the film because it's stupid.
Yes, very much.
And unfortunately, the film focuses perhaps a bit too much on these characters.
Yes.
More, I want to say not as much as past films, but it still feels like it's to an obnoxious degree compared to other films. Like, I would even go as far as to say that the first kid in the first movie was a better character.
He still should have been stepped on by Gamera.
He should have, but at least it made sense within the plot. In this film, there are just a couple kids who just
do not listen to their parents at all.
And then after they manage to escape, they find themselves on an island
with a guy and some older gentleman that looks like he was eating seaweed.
He was covered in tattered rags.
Yeah. And he goes, so you were the ones that were abducted by those Zigra aliens?
Oh no!
Oh, I heard it off the radio. Like, he looked homeless, but he had a radio.
The scene initially sets it up as though the kids have somehow time traveled, but no, they're in the present. This guy just is wearing tattered rags for reasons that he explains, but the whole thing is kind of utterly pointless.
The scene didn't need to be in the movie.
Exactly. It feels extraneous.
Exactly. Then they end up going back to SeaWorld, and the military are trying to talk to the kids, and they gave them jack shit for freaking information.
Why didn't they ask the two scientist dads? Because they're still unconscious for some reason.
Yep. And they're unconscious for a decent amount of the movie.
And Zigra orders the Zigran woman to go after them because they know the secret of Zigra's invasion, which, like, really?
Doesn't everyone know about Zigra's invasion?
Didn't you tell the entire world about the Zigran invasion? Also, they know too much about the ship. They know how to paralyze the one woman and how to get off this ship. They know literally nothing else.
The two boys in Virus did much more on their ship than these two did in this fucking spaceship.
Like, seriously, the two kids in this movie touch some healing thing and freeze a lady completely by chance, and then one of them is like, hey, press the green button. That'll probably get us off this spaceship. Yep. We haven't touched any of the other buttons, so we're just going to take a random shot on this.
Yes.
Whereas the kids in Virus were using observational skills.
Yes.
And their own know-how.
We would like water as in sandwiches, and they got water in sandwiches.
I want fruit, but give me a knife. They get cut fruit. Oh, shoot.
Yep.
They are smart about that.
There's one alien, and his human henchmen, literally.
But anyway, so this lady winds up chasing the kids for a sizable chunk of the movie, while everybody else is just kind of like, well, what are we gonna do? Mm-hmm. They're literally sitting on their thumbs for most of the film. Gamera shows up to fight Virus once stuff happens.
Zigra.
Sorry.
It's okay. We talked about Virus. It's okay. We slightly talked about a better movie.
If I remember correctly, I think Gamera shows up to fight
the
Zigra's spaceship.
Yep. That ends up, I believe. Well, the spaceship is going after the children when they're like back on the boat, and then Gamera comes and pretty much picks up the boat and kind of flies
saves
away.
them, and that's how they get to the island with the old man. Okay.
Something like that.
I forgot about that because this movie is dumb.
Yeah. I just had to remember it for this podcast. After this podcast, I'm just going to blank this movie from my psyche.
There's a scene where one of the guys who works at SeaWorld is arguing with the guy who runs a hotel because they both want the low supply of fish that are in the fish market because everybody's evacuating and nobody's going out to get fish. And it kind of is a pointless scene because all it really does is establish that the Defense Force are operating out of this hotel.
Yep. And
it then gives the guy from SeaWorld an excuse to drive back to SeaWorld.
But he stops and picks up
the Zigran woman. Not knowing she's the Zigran woman. Because she's wearing a bikini now.
Well, she charmed her way into that car. And then she goes into SeaWorld and
chases the kids.
She gets more clothing.
Well, yeah. She chases the kids around. Is like, don't run away. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to kill you a bit.
Yeah, pretty much. Just want to
I just want to talk a bit before murdering you for knowing too much information that you don't actually know, and which we haven't readily given to you because Zigra's a fucking stupid ass moron for this.
Yeah, just like they should kill the children, but do not kill the Earthlings.
Kill the children, but not the other Earthlings. And then once this ship blows up, thanks to Gamera, he grows big and is like, fuck humans.
Yeah, pretty much. He turns.
I'm gonna kill y'all.
Mm-hmm. Then they find a way to wake up the scientists
by what is it? Whistling into a big radio phone? Or something like that.
It's like
it's stupid. It makes no sense because I could maybe understand it if it were like a megaphone, but no, he's just whistling into a radio phone.
Yeah. Then they wake up. Then the woman ends up finally getting a hold of the children.
But by this point, everybody has seen what's all going on, and then they use the stupid radio phone tactic to wake her up. Mm-hmm. Turns out she had been hypnotized by Zigra and was, and so now she knows.
She knows nothing.
No, she actually knows quite a bit about what Zigra's doing. She's confused and eventually does remember stuff, but it's like. It's like, way to go, Zigra! You actively worked against your own plan. You Thanos'd that shit. No. You sabotaged yourself.
Yeah, he pretty much did.
No, that's what it is in the comics for Thanos. He constantly self-sabotages. He gives a way for the heroes to win. I guess out of sport or something. I don't know. I don't read his comics. I just read that once.
So then Zigra ends up paralyzing Gamera, and then the two scientists are gonna go down in the submarine, and then the fucking kids join them in the submarine, and then Zigra starts attacking the submarine.
Well, it's actually a bathysphere, but it's a submersible, so
yeah, sorry.
It's fine. Weird that we're talking about two movies that have a bathysphere in it within a single year.
Oh yeah, Meg.
3 movies. Latitude Zero. Although technically, Meg didn't have a bathysphere. I think that
was just subs.
I think that was submarines. They could be considered bathyspheres. I don't know.
Fancier ones.
I'm not into marine technology, so
I have no idea either. So Zigra ends up damaging the bathysphere or whatever, and they start losing oxygen. But prior to that, they wake Gamera up. And then Gamera.
Well, Zigra is like, okay, I've gotten this submersible down. If you want these 4 people back, surrender. Mm-hmm. and everybody's like, well, I guess we gotta surrender.
Oh wait,
we gotta save these 4 specific people.
Yep. And I take that back. The submarine does not... The whatever thingy doesn't wake up Gamera. Gamera gets woken up by being struck by fucking lightning. So he's Kong now?
Basically.
Or Frankenstein or whatever. Then, Gamera pretty much gets better. Picks up the little sub and starts blowing fire towards...
Gamera saves the bathysphere, takes it up to the surface. The scientists realize that since Gamera was revived with electricity, they could revive these dead people with electricity. Because technically they're dead, but apparently Zigra's rays froze them on a molecular level or a cellular level or something. So while they're technically dead, they're also technically in suspended animation. So why not just say suspended animation?
No,
this movie is dumb.
That would be too easy and less headache worthy.
Also, I forgot to mention that the henchwoman was an Earth woman. We mentioned she was an Earth woman.
Yeah.
The explanation is that she was like some model who was on the moon for some lunar exploration when Zigra attacked, and I was like, what? What? And the only reason we learn that she's famous is because some reporters who were there to report on the other incidences spot her chasing the kids.
Then she turns around, they look her in the eye, and she snaps her fingers, and then they're paralyzed again.
But anyway, Gamera wakes up, fights Zigra, kills Zigra, and then plays his spine like a xylophone.
Dun, 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 dun. Ow.
And then sets him on fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then the movie's basically over with the message of, we gotta keep our oceans clean. Mm-hmm. Which was basically a big point that Zigra was trying to use against the humans. It's like, oh, you polluted your own water. We were planning on migrating here, but you polluted it, so we're gonna...
just destroy you.
Enslave you. Yeah. Also, the henchwoman tells the scientists that Zigra's race feeds on humans, so that's why they're trying to invade.
Gamera's theme starts playing, and the movie ends.
And we were none the wiser we were not better people for this experience.
This movie sucks.
Yeah. It's no wonder why the Gamera franchise went into dormancy after this movie.
Another one does get released, but we'll talk about that some other time. But then the Showa era will start after that one.
Heisei era.
Heisei.
This is the Showa era for this movie, yes. But no, the Heisei period.
Oh, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Ooh, yeah.
I like you. The characters are all bland as F.
They are not likable characters.
Like,
but
okay,
they're not dislikable characters. They're just characters who are in this stupid movie with a ridiculous plot.
Like in the beginning of the movie, the mother is trying to wake her daughters to get ready for school, and apparently her son Kenny is up already brushing his teeth, and she just keeps chastising him that he's brushing his teeth wrong. Lady, just be happy he's brushing him.
I get this was a kid's movie, but come on.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a dumb movie just because it's for kids. You can have great, well-written movies for kids.
Yes.
As evidenced by a good chunk of the other Gamera movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but at a certain point, they did start to go downhill.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just crazy.
It is kind of appropriate timing for us to be covering this, though, because earlier this month, as of the release of this podcast, the newest Gamera anime has released.
Mm.
And while I haven't watched it as of the recording of this, I'm sure it is good.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like Skull Island level.
That was a good
Yeah.
That was a good animated release.
So, I suppose till next time, guys, I really have nothing else to say.
I got nothing.
So, I've been Tank.
I'm Protomat.
See ya.
Bye.